Happy New Year, everyone. You know we love to dig into all sorts of celebrations and traditions here. And what better way to kick off the year than with a deep dive into New Year's Day itself?
It's the one day that's celebrated practically everywhere, but in so many different ways, right?
Right. And we got this fun little script from a podcast called Just Chatting, packed with all kinds of New Year's trivia, riddles, and fun facts. So get ready for like a global party in a podcast, because we're about to uncover some seriously interesting stuff.
Sounds like a blast.
So I was reading through the Just Chatting script, and it reminded me that even the ancient Romans were all about celebrating the new year. Did you know they'd kick things off by honoring Janus, the god of beginnings and endings?
Oh yeah, Janus. Can't talk about new beginnings without a little Roman mythology, can we?
And get this, he's got two faces, one looking back, one looking forward. Talk about setting the tone for reflection and new beginnings.
That Roman sense of duality was really fascinating. Janus wasn't just about time, though, but also about doorways, transitions, choices. I mean, think about it. Those ideas are so powerful.
Totally. It's like the whole new year, new you thing, but with a Roman twist.
Exactly.
Speaking of new beginnings, this Just Chatting script takes us on a whirlwind tour of global New Year's traditions. Here in the U.S., we've got our classic black-eyed peas and greens for luck and prosperity. Being from the South, that's like a staple in my family. But it's not just about the luck, it's a whole culinary tradition.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the symbolism behind it all.
Oh yeah, fill us in on that.
Okay, so those black-eyed peas, right, they represent coins. The greens symbolize paper money. And then, of course, gotta have that cornbread for the golden touch.
It's like eating your way to a prosperous year.
Right.
Food is definitely a love language on New Year's Day. But then you've got Denmark, where they ring in the new year by smashing old plates on their friends' doorsteps.
I love that one. Talk about a dramatic way to purge any negativity.
It's like a physical manifestation of leaving the past behind, you know?
It really gets you thinking, though, doesn't it?
About what?
About what you'd be smashing to leave behind from last year. What needs to go?
Ooh, that's deep. Maybe we should circle back to that one later, though, give everyone some time to think.
Good idea.
So, from smashing plates to something a bit more tranquil. In Brazil, they wear white for peace and jump over 7 waves for good luck. Each wave is a wish for the new year, and it's a way of honoring Yemanja, the goddess of the sea.
Again with the water, right. It's so interesting how it plays a role in cleansing and renewal rituals across so many different cultures.
Totally. Like a universal symbol of washing away the old and starting fresh.
Exactly.
So we've got food, we've got smashing things, we've got ocean rituals. It's incredible how many different ways there are to mark this shared experience of a new beginning. What's been standing out to you so far?
What really strikes me is how these traditions, as different as they seem, are all about taking control in a way. We can't predict the future, but these rituals give us a sense of agency, like we're actively participating in shaping our destiny, even if it's just symbolic.
I love that, like a global pep talk. Right. Okay, universe, we're ready for a good year. Let's do this.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual luck either. Think about something like the Times Square ball drop. Millions of people around the world are tuning in all at the same time.
Oh yeah, good point.
It's that shared experience again, a reminder that we're all in this together.
It really is like a global reset button, a chance to hit refresh. Now this Just Chatting script reminds us that New Year's Day is also all about resolutions, those ambitious promises we make to ourselves. I'm definitely guilty of making a few of those.
Who isn't? It's fascinating, though, how resolutions have become so intertwined with New Year's Day, like this ultimate opportunity for self-improvement.
Right. It's kind of funny, though, because we all know how hard those resolutions are to keep. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think part of it is we tend to focus too much on the outcome. Like, okay, I want to lose weight, I want to get that promotion. But we don't always figure out how to actually change our habits to get there.
So it's less about the goal itself and more about the how.
Exactly. It's not just about setting goals, it's about understanding the why behind them and having a real plan for making lasting changes.
I see what you mean. It's about the journey, the process of figuring things out and growing along the way, not just checking a box on a resolution list.
That's it. And just like the new year itself, that journey is going to have twists and turns. It's about embracing the unknown and learning from everything that happens along the way.
I love that. It's not about being perfect, it's about embracing the journey. Now, before we get too deep here, Just Chatting has some fun little riddles for us. I know you love a good brain teaser, so I'm going to put you on the spot first.
Oh, no. All right, hit me with it.
Okay, riddle number 1. I'm the first day of a new chapter, celebrated with resolutions. What am I?
Well, that's pretty straightforward. It's New Year's Day, the first page of a brand new year.
You got it. Now for riddle number 2. I'm round and dropped in Times Square, but I don't bounce. What am I?
That has to be the Times Square ball, that sparkling symbol of the countdown to midnight, known around the world.
You're on a roll. It's amazing how that one event has become such a global spectacle. It really taps into our fascination with marking time, don't you think?
Absolutely. The anticipation, the countdown, that collective moment of celebration when it finally reaches the bottom, it's a modern tradition for sure, but it connects to something very ancient in us that need to mark the passage of time and celebrate new beginnings.
Okay, feeling warmed up.
Yeah.
Because Just Chatting also had a little New Year's quiz for us. First question. Some people really take that plunge into the new year, literally. Have you ever heard of the polar bear plunge?
Yeah,
It's huge. Which country?
that would have to be the USA. Canada might be the first guess for a lot of folks, but the polar bear plunge is actually a pretty popular New Year's Day tradition in several U.S. states. All these brave souls braving the frigid waters for a symbolic fresh start.
Brr, that takes some serious dedication. Okay, next question. What's the most common New Year's resolution? The one we all make, and maybe, just maybe, keep for a few weeks.
Oh, that's easy. Losing weight or exercising more. Every year, millions of people resolve to adopt those healthier habits.
Hoping this time it'll stick. It's a classic for a reason though, right?
Yeah.
Last question. What fruit is commonly used in the Philippines to symbolize prosperity on New Year's Day?
It's not just one specific fruit, but any round fruit. The shape represents coins, symbolizing wealth and abundance for the year ahead.
So basically, I need to stock up on grapes and oranges if I want to be rolling in it next year. I like it. We've covered a lot of ground here, from ancient Roman gods to modern-day polar bear plunges. But there's so much more to explore about New Year's Day traditions.
Oh, we've only just scratched the surface. There are so many fascinating customs and deeper meanings to uncover.
Okay, so we've seen how people around the world set intentions for the new year, through food, rituals, even smashing stuff.
It's all about purging the old to make way for the new, but it takes so many different forms.
Yeah, like in Brazil, it's less about destruction and more about cleansing with those ocean waves.
Right, and that ties into another tradition. Have you ever heard of first footing in Scotland?
First footing. No, that's a new one for me.
Well, it's this belief that the first person to cross your threshold after midnight can influence the luck of your household for the whole year.
Oh, wow. So, like, if my neighbor pops by to borrow sugar at 12:01 a.m., they could be ruining my whole year.
Well, traditionally, it's not just any visitor. It's specifically a tall, dark-haired man bearing gifts.
Really? Like, what kind of gifts?
Things like coal, salt, shortbread, and whiskey. That's considered the most auspicious first footer.
Wow, that's so specific. So no blondes allowed?
Haha. Well, the origins are a bit murky, but some believe it goes back to a time when Viking invasions were a real threat. A blonde stranger at the door probably wouldn't have been a welcome sight back then.
Makes sense. I guess history really does shape these traditions, even the ones that seem quirky or fun.
Absolutely. And speaking of quirky, in Greece, they have this special New Year's bread called vassilopita.
Vassilopita?
Yeah, and they bake a coin inside, and whoever finds it in their slice is said to have good luck for the whole year.
Oh, I love that. It's like a delicious game of chance. Kind of reminds me of king cake during Mardi Gras. You know how they hide a tiny baby inside?
I see the similarity.
Do you think there's like a connection there, or just a human love for hiding things and baked goods?
I think there's definitely a universal appeal to the idea of chance and fortune, especially when it comes to food and celebrations. But the vassilopita also has religious roots, It's named after Saint Basil, who was known for his generosity.
Oh, that makes sense. It's amazing how these traditions blend culture and religion, makes each one so unique. And it's not just talk about luck either, it's about community, right? Like coming together.
Exactly. That shared experience is so important. Now, if you're up for a real challenge, let's talk about Spain. They have this tradition of eating 12 grapes at midnight, one for each month of the year.
12 grapes in 12 seconds. Sounds like a choking hazard waiting to happen.
It definitely takes some practice, but it's all in good fun and symbolizes the hope for a prosperous year ahead.
I can just picture everyone crammed around the table, faces stuffed with grapes, trying not to laugh and spit them out.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of chaotic, but fun.
Yeah.
So we've got lucky first footers, coin-filled bread, and a grape-eating frenzy. Seems like no matter where you go in the world, New Year's is all about bringing in the good luck.
It really is, but it's also about reflecting on the past year and setting those intentions for the future, right? Like those resolutions we were talking about earlier, they're a big part of that. But as we've seen, it's not just about the goals themselves.
It's about the why. Why do we actually want to lose weight or learn a new language or whatever it is?
Exactly. Like if you're trying to lose weight, is it just about fitting into a smaller size? Or is it about feeling healthier and having more energy?
Right. It's about connecting to that deeper why, because that's what's going to motivate you to stick with it.
Exactly. When we connect to those deeper emotions and motivations, that's where the real fuel for change comes from.
It's like New Year's is a time to really get real with ourselves. Not just about what we want to change, but why it matters to us.
And that's where the real magic happens, you know? It's not just about a date on the calendar, it's about that internal shift, that commitment to growth and becoming the best version of ourselves.
Wow, we've really explored some wild New Year's traditions from around the world, haven't we? Smashing plates, stuffing our faces with grapes.
It seems like everyone's got their own unique way of ringing in the new year and inviting good luck and setting those intentions.
Yeah, and it's not just about luck or superstition either, right? It's also about connecting to something bigger than ourselves.
Absolutely. Whether it's through shared meals, religious customs, or even that collective countdown at midnight, these traditions connect us to each other and to something beyond just our individual lives.
It really is a sense of belonging, being part of this global community, all celebrating together. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is, and it reminds us that even though we might celebrate in different ways, we're all just trying to do the same thing, you know? Make sense of time, mark the passing of another year, and hope for a brighter future.
It's that global reset, that chance to reflect on where we've been and where we want to go. Which brings us back to resolutions, I guess. It's so easy to get caught up in the surface level stuff, but the real transformation comes from digging a little deeper.
You got it. It's not just about the what, it's about the why. Why is this goal important to you? What will it actually mean for your life? How will achieving it make you feel?
It's about connecting to those deeper emotions, those motivations, because that's where the real fuel for change comes from. And it's not about being perfect, it's about embracing the journey.
Exactly. Just like the new year itself, you know, there are going to be unexpected challenges and triumphs along the way.
Yeah, it's all part of the process. As we wrap up this New Year's deep dive, I'm thinking maybe I should ditch the resolution list this year. Focus more on the big picture.
I think that's a fantastic approach. What truly matters is that internal shift, that commitment to growth and becoming the best version of ourselves.
And maybe even having a little fun along the way. Who knows, maybe I'll even try that 12 grapes at midnight thing this year. But I'm definitely getting smaller grapes.
Sounds like a plan. As we say goodbye, I want to leave our listeners with a question to ponder. What New Year's tradition, whether it's one you've discovered from another culture or one you create yourself, will you embrace to make this coming year truly meaningful?
That's a great question to think about. Happy New Year, everyone, and here's to a year filled with intention, joy, and maybe even a few new traditions to make it extra special.